So I have a task I have been avoiding because, well, there's a multitude of reasons, but essentially that it's overwhelming and I don't want to do it, but I know I will feel better once I have done it. So I figured, I'm overdue for a check-in, and these videos are therapeutic for me, so maybe they will be for you, but essentially I need to clean and reorganize my office because right now it looks like this. I haven't been working in here in a while because it's so messy. I just don't feel like I can sit at my desk when it's covered with stuff and actually focus on getting things done. So rather than remaining stressed in the room that is supposed to be my little space to relax and focus, I need to tackle it and just take care of it. So for the next week or so, I will probably be filming my progress as I clean up. I know I can't accomplish this really in one day entirely because a lot of it too is unpacking. We moved into this house about 1.5 years ago now, if I'm doing that math correctly, and there's still just things that haven't been unpacked or gone through, and I know I need to purge, and a lot of it is that there's so much mess that doesn't really have a home yet, that doesn't have somewhere where it can be organized into. So it's also recognizing what organizational tools I need. I will probably have to go buy a couple things to help with the organization, whether that's bins or some shelves. Nothing too crazy, but it needs some help. I don't really want to do this. I know I need to. I'm also not having the best morning. It's okay. It's been fine, but not the worst thing in the world. I had a dentist appointment about 25-30 minutes away. So I drove 25-30 minutes away only to get there and find out that their offices are closed today. And apparently they tried to call me and couldn't get a hold of me and to let me know that my appointment was canceled, but I never got a phone call. I don't know what happened. Something technology-wise on someone's end got messed up, and so I didn't know, and I drove all the way there, and it was canceled. And then I had to drive back, and I had to stop at the bank, which is fine, but I was planning to use the drive-through ATM, and the Loomis van was there blocking both drive-through things because they were working on it, and the bank didn't open for another 20 minutes, so I just had to sit there and wait until the walk-up ATM inside opened because the van never moved. Actually, it did. It moved as I was pulling out of the bank. So either way, I had to wait. And then it was just a lot of little irritating things. I just tried to fold laundry and get that out of the way, realized half the laundry wasn't dry like I thought it was, had to throw it back in the dryer, so I had to go back to do that task. So it's just a lot of little annoyances, and I thought I would be so gung-ho and ready to start this today, and I'm just kind of annoyed. But we're gonna press through because I know I will feel better if I do this. And as I am working, I will do my best to update you on things that have been going on with me, writing-wise. Not the entire video, because I do need to focus in some capacity on organizing and kind of going through things, and I will need my brain for a lot of that. But for some things, like sorting through stuff, or I don't know, there will be certain sections where I pause, and as I'm working on things, I will talk to you guys about how things are going. But yeah, I think for now, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my headphones and listen to my audiobook and just take you along for the ride as I clean up my space because it needs it desperately. I also need it desperately for my mental health. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. it's not perfect yet still, obviously, but we have made a pretty decent amount of progress here. Lots of things that I have put back in the closet where they belong. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take a little break to eat because I need to do that. And then after lunch, I'll come back and I'm gonna work on putting a few more things away, and as I'm eating, try to gather my thoughts about what I want to talk about, and we'll do that then. This might actually work out where it's mostly done today, and the last things I have to do is just find the organizational stuff like I talked about. I also ordered a few frames for things that need to be hung up, so that will be happening later this week as well. But yeah, actually really pleased with the progress that's happened so far, so check back in soon. Okay, I'm back from lunch. I also took some time to play with the puppy for a little bit and do a little bit of meal prep stuff, but now I'm back. I'm gonna go ahead and work on adding some things to my junk journal. As you can see, it is getting a little bit too full, so I think this is the last set of things I'm gonna put in this one, and then I'll start a new one. But I have all these items that I need to paste in. I also broke an ornament at Christmas. This poor little ballerina gal from my childhood has been missing a head, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue that together as well while I chat about how things have been. I took a couple of like loosely structured notes just to keep my thoughts on track, but to be honest, yeah, it's been a weird, frustrating, kind of difficult month. The last month or two since the last time I updated has been a lot of reorganization and rewriting of my outline. My story is divided into about 7 sections, and I finished section 1, was really happy with how it turned out. I started section 2, I wrote 5 chapters, and I stopped because it just didn't feel like it was working. I wasn't horribly fussed about it, like it was disappointing, but it helped that I saw this video from Sanderson somewhere in the internet ether, I think it was on Reels, about how the sign of a mature author is recognizing when something doesn't work, being able to scrap it and get rid of it rather than clinging to those things. And as disappointing as it was to get to that point and realize that these things that I was working on weren't working, and the fact that I was going to have to kind of start over on that section. It was disappointing, but I felt encouraged by that because I was able to recognize, you know, that that's okay and that's kind of a standard thing and it happens. And so I took some time to revisit the outline, and wouldn't you know it, that didn't work either. So I revisited the outline, I shaved off a bunch of chapters. I posted about this on my Instagram, but I went with big poster boards again, and I dedicated one to each character, and I looked at their personality type, their hobbies, their family, their friends, and I have sticky notes for each of the separate years that are happening and the subplots that belong in those years, because I just felt like I lost the plot. As I was looking at those chapters, it just felt really repetitive. I felt like I was kind of pulling back into these character moments that had already happened and kind of rehashing things that were already there. So I went and I tried to fix the outline, and I tried to redo it. And is this the end of it? I thought there was more tape in there. No. Gosh darn it, just the kind of day I'm having. Anyway, I'm gonna come back to this because I'm just rambling now and things are breaking, so pause 1 moment. Not broken, I have a refill, but I also have glue dots, so I think I'm gonna do that instead for a little bit for these things because I need this for another craft project that I'm working on soon. Anyway, as I was saying, it wasn't working, so I scrapped those chapters. I went back to the outline. I restarted again, realized I didn't have to entirely scrap those chapters. I didn't actually scrap them. I put them into a different document. So I was able to go back and pull from what I had written and just rearrange some things and edit some stuff, and I was like, great. But then I reached another point where I looked at it again and I said, what? Something is just wrong. It just doesn't work. And I couldn't figure out what on earth it was. And hi, can I help you? So I stopped again and I spent a few hours, thanks Samwise, doing great. So I spent a few hours at a coffee shop 2 days ago, and I went back and I figured out what's supposed to happen in each of these sections, and I realized I'm just trying to do too much, which I already knew, but I've trimmed this outline over and over, and I keep going back and like cutting several chapters and feeling like it's enough, but I'm giving purchase to every single thing that happens to these characters, and it's supposed to span almost 4 years of time, and I don't need to spend 4 years long amount of time dedicated to following these characters' lives through all 4 years. And because I was doing it that way, the way the story was progressing felt so like you're just taking baby steps, and it was so boring to read. And I'm trying to do too much, and I'm trying to make it too big, and I think I need to figure out how to establish scenes that a lot is accomplished within. I don't necessarily need to hide. I know that there's a way to span large stretches of time. It's a completely different genre, but I think about things like the Poppy War, where in the Poppy War there is a section near the beginning where R.F. Kuang does this really cool thing where we pass a year of Rin's schooling and education in about a sentence or two. And I remember being floored by that, of like, she managed in one sentence to convey to me how hard this girl has worked towards this one particular skill, and she did it in one sentence, and a year has passed. Fonda Lee does this too in the Greenbone Saga, where like several months pass between chapters, especially in the later installments of the trilogy. The point being, I know I can do it, and I'm taking too much time doing all these little like micro jumps in their character development and in the things that are happening. So I'm trying to go back and rework it so that only 2 or 3 chapters are dedicated to each character per semester at the most, because it is following their schooling and their summer breaks and kind of going over it within the structured outline of like the college years. No, I'm doing too much. And you know, you'd think I would have figured out at this point that this is what I do and that's why I get frustrated, but here we are in the same space again. And I have to rewrite my outline. And I haven't done it yet, but I have figured out generally what plots are happening for each character in each year. And I'm gonna go dedicate a few chapters at the most, 4, maybe 5, and rework those scenes. I'm realizing now what happened is I treated this outline like it was an outline when really it was a brain dump with chapter titles. And that's why it's not working, is because too much is happening. That's disappointing to get to that realization, but at the same time, like, I'm glad I did and I'm glad I know now, but still, it's annoying. I was supposed to be finished with the second section of this 7-part thing that I'm trying to do by the end of February. And at this point, I haven't even technically started because I have to go redo the outline again after I had already revisited it like twice. So that's discouraging and difficult, but I think I'm in a better place with it. And I still believe I can meet the deadline I've set for myself by the end of July, because I will hopefully be trying to accomplish less overall. I also need to give myself like a cap at word count, because I will just write and write and write next to nothing with lots of words. That's where I'm at with it. Not a lot has happened, and I keep having to take steps back and rework it and then try again. I wish I had more actual like progress on the page to show, and I just don't. It's okay, we will get there, but that's been a little discouraging and frustrating. I'm in a space where I finally feel ready to keep going with it, and I'm really anxious to sit down and rework this outline again. That's something else I do too, is I rush the outline because I want to get started on the writing, and then I have to stop the writing and go fix the outline because I rushed and it took too long, and here we are again. All right, junk journal stuff done. It's been a weird couple of months with my goals. I'm feeling very, very stressed for no particular reason. I think I'm overall feeling really like aimless and restless with the goals that I've set for myself, and I'm not really sure where that feeling is coming from and if it's something I can, oh geez, the Gorilla Glue just exploded on me. I'm just having a day, y'all. Anyway, I've just been really like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, and there's so many things I want to be doing, but at the same time, like every single time I try to work towards a goal, whether that is my, you know, progress I want to make towards my physical health and my writing goals and things that I'm trying to accomplish around the house, projects that I'm trying to do, like this office, I just feel paralyzed. Like I'm stressed about it, but I don't have the motivation or the desire to do it. I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm trying to accomplish too much at once, and I have never really struggled with that before. I tend to be pretty disciplined and pretty focused on my tasks and my projects. So this is kind of a new thing for me. And I'm so distracted. Like, these tasks that I'm doing take me so much longer than they used to because I feel so scatterbrained and just all over the place. And that's not like me either. So again, this is kind of a space I've not really been in before, and that kind of keeps cropping up over the last year or two. And I think I get frustrated because I know I'm not like that, or I never have been like that in the past. Again, I tend to be very disciplined, very focused. Yet another guy I need to fix. But in this space, I haven't been able to do that. And it's like I keep hitting roadblocks, or I sit down to do something and immediately like I just freeze and I don't want to do it. And then I sit there and feel guilty because I don't feel like doing something. And all of me is screaming, you're being so lazy. Like, you need to go ahead and just do this. Like, I could easily fix the problem, but I won't do it because what did I do to this? I broke something really good. I know I'm feeling a little bit restless because I am waiting to hear back about some like potential job news, and I'm happy to wait. I'm in a space where like I know I need to accept the time that I have off from working. Like, that's such a blessing that I'm able to do that. So I'm trying to appreciate that, but I also just feel endlessly antsy. So in a weird space, trying to appreciate the time that I have to do these things right now, but I'm used to doing stuff, and so I'm having a hard time, I think, accepting the slow, accepting the quiet, quiet, accepting the waiting for what comes next. And I don't know, it's affecting the way I approach my goals and my tasks. We'll get there. It'll be fine. It's just kind of a bummer at the same time. Right now I'm gluing this this beautiful little bird guy that my friend got me for my birthday that I immediately dropped and it shattered. I felt so horrible when it happened. I digress. It's been a weird month. I'm working on the outline. I'm feeling restless and anxious, but trying to address that anxiety in ways that I can, whether that is being gentle with my own brain or tackling tasks that are stressing me out that really, it'll help if I finish them, like this one. Yeah, I'm just trying to take care of it that way and remember to be patient. Like, it's not a race, even though it would be disappointing to not meet the deadline that I've set for myself, and I feel this urgency to continue to prioritize writing and work on it and make progress towards the draft, recognizing that if I do this work up front and I'm very aware of those flaws that I have with my writing going into it, then I'll set myself up for better success. So hoping that that is the case with this should be final outline as I get to work on it. Anyway, I'm going to keep working on this. I think that is honestly all I have to update on. If I have other thoughts that come to me as I'm working on things, I'll pause and clue you in. But for now, I'm gonna get back to work and keep cleaning because I'm actually making pretty decent progress. And I feel like if I go back to headphones and audiobook and I just focus for the next couple hours, I might be able to knock this out for the most part. So we're gonna try that. You guys want to see something super gross? This is mostly dog hair. Gifts from puppy. I'm gonna say that's all for today. The bulk of what I needed to do is done. A lot of it really was just boxes that I needed to go through and just a million pieces of paper that needed to be filed or thrown away. I feel so much better looking at the room now, even knowing that I'm not technically done. A couple more things that I want to take care of this week. The first thing is my desk. If you saw in the last clip, I have these two beautiful new speakers that I got for Christmas. So I need to get those set up, and there's just not space on the desk right now, and a big part of that is the giant wooden organizer thing that I have, which is really useful, but it takes up just so much room that a lot starts to collect around it. So that will be solved once I pick the set of shelves that I want to buy. My desktop and finding a shelf and kind of figuring out what that is supposed to look like and what I want to put on there is going to be my next step. Like I said earlier in the video, I have, I think, 3 frames coming in on Thursday. I'm gonna frame my bachelor's diploma and then my master's diploma, which has been sitting in its perfect little protected envelope since I got it like almost a year ago now, and I haven't framed it still, so I finally ordered frames for those. For now, I'm gonna call it a day. I will see you in a few days when it is time to frame and hang things. Hello again. It has been exactly a week since I cleaned up the office and got everything just cleared out. Today, my task is going to be building this, which is my technically nightstand that I am using as shelves in here. And then the last thing I really need to do is hang up those picture frames. I'm waiting on the last one to arrive, and that should be here tomorrow. So yeah, gonna go ahead and get to work on building this, and as I work, I will chat a little bit more about how things have been going with writing. I have made a decent amount of progress since I last filmed, and I'm feeling quite a bit better about where I'm at, the position that I'm in. So yeah, last week was just a kind of a kick in the pants of I just need to start tackling these things that are making me anxious. So here we are, tackling them. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy my Vietnamese iced coffee and read the instruction book and figure out how on earth we're gonna build this. So here we go. frustrated for reasons. So I have been working on the second part of this, the really easy one that I just did, for the last probably 20 minutes or so, because this single screw, this guy, right? You can see him right there, him, it won't go in properly. I've got all the others in there. 1, 2, 3. Here's the fourth that needs to go in. And something about something, it is refusing to actually stick. And I can get it half of the way screwed in, and that's as far as it goes. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried just using my hands. I've tried using a power tool. I've tried the little grippy things that we have in our kitchen that I use for stuff that gets stuck with jars and things. I thought that would work, and it's not working. So I suppose I will humble myself and wait for my husband to be free and see if he can go take a look at it. And in the meantime, I will see if there are any of the steps that work separate from these, because I don't want to build onto anything else, of course, until it's done. So this isn't my first time building furniture either. This is something I've actually done quite often. So it goes. The one screw just hates me. Anyway, we'll keep building as soon as I can figure this out. So stupid. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day. I've finished the shelves and I have rearranged my desk setup a little bit. I'll show you briefly. Here we've got obviously the shelves. I'm not really married to the setup. I'm still kind of figuring out how I want this to look. May rearrange some things, but happy that it is done and set up to the side here so that I have more desk space. Had to rearrange the lamp over here, which isn't my favorite, but I don't think there's a better way to do it, at least not that I figured out yet. So for now, it's there. And then speakers themselves aren't actually set up yet, but I have them at least sitting on the desk so I can see where I want them to go. And I've shifted my monitor and my keyboard over a little bit so that I'm more centered with the actual opening for the chair, because usually I'm sitting kind of off to the side here and it can get a little uncomfortable. So done that much so far, but I'm tired and I kind of have a headache, and I feel like I have been just looking at my phone or my screens all day, even though I've also been working on this. It's just been kind of a day of working with tech stuff too, and so I'm gonna go take Puppy outside to play because he's also getting really squirrely at this point in the day. I also wanted to briefly check in about writing, because I had that whole rant a week ago about how discouraged I've been and how progress has just been funky, but as of 2 days ago, Saturday, I completed my actually official updated outline. I can see already that there are going to be some gaps in the storytelling, but I've reached a point where my previous outline was just so overwhelming and so much, and giving purchase to every single transition that could happen between plot points. So I'm happier with this setup where it's still a lot of chapters and it's still going to be really long and take a lot to edit. And I'm looking forward to being able to work on a project where the majority of my editing is going to be, yes, still cutting things down, but figuring out what I need to add and what pieces I need to include later to make things connect better, rather than having something that is just way too big and too overwhelming and having to scale back so much. So I think I'm finally in a place where I'm able to get back to writing, and with the new outline, I am back to about 3 chapters a week as my goal. That was originally where I was at, and then with the break that I had to take for updating the outline again before, it bumped it up to 5 chapters a week, and now I'm back to 3 chapters a week to meet the deadline that I have set for myself. Whether or not we meet it, we will see. I really hope that I get to meet it because I'm anxious to be able to actually finish a project this year. So that's where we're at. I'm feeling a lot more motivated and encouraged this week to be able to tackle this project again, and happy with how my office is looking. It's gotten a little bit messy with building things and kind of rearranging stuff, but it's still, for the most part, you can see the floors. There are no boxes just sitting out that need to be taken care of. It's generally just stuff that needs to be put away or put in a new spot. So happy with how the office is looking, happy with how this little shelving drawer system is looking for now, happy with how the desk is looking for now. I'm going to take a break, go play with Puppy, and I will be back one last time to hang up those final picture frames and do a final sweep of the office to show you how it is looking. That's all for today. Chat with you all in a moment. Boo. Oh, good boy. Paw. What a distinguished gentleman. You know what sucks? Well, not this. This is my beautiful, there's a glare. My beautiful new print that I got from my cousin and my cousin-in-law. But, you know, picture frames that, have this little guy, this little thing, that makes it, like, impossible to hang it. It's fine. I'm the one who bought the frame, not the print, so it's my own problem, but stupid. Okay. It only took 2 weeks, but finally my office is cleaned up and all the little tasks that I've been meaning to do in here are, for now, complete. I will be updating, rearranging, redoing so many different elements of this office, probably for as long as I use it. But as of right now, I'm just so relieved that it's finished. I feel so much more comfortable and at peace in here, which is how I felt when I first set it up, and I'm happy to have that feeling back and to feel like it's my space again. So I'm not exactly sure what comes next. I have a couple of things that are in the works but not ready to share yet, but I know I've been quiet here since the beginning of the year, and it's because, like I was talking about in either my introduction to the year video or my wrap up from last year video, I do want to take my time to create these videos for you more intentionally, to really take my time with my thoughts and the way that I produce them. So it's still not necessarily perfect. I'm not a professional. I kind of just do this for fun and to keep myself accountable and to hope that maybe my experience in my writing journey helps someone else who might be in a similar boat. So yeah, not really sure what comes next, but I'm looking forward to whatever the rest of the year looks like and to continued creation of these videos because they are a lot of fun for me to put together. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you all always. Until next time though, happy reading, happy writing, and I will chat with you all somewhat soon.